Blah 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 blah. Bada bada boom. Bada bada boom. Morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting February 16, 2023. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Good morning. Marcus Conte reporting. So we were very, 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 very sure that Bryan Kohberger, the beady-eyed white guy who allegedly hates women, PhD student in Idaho, in the quadruple murder of the students, we were 100% sure that it was him, weren't we? Weren't we 100% sure that Bryan Kohberger is the fucking murderer? Didn't he do it? And all the evidence suggests that he did it. Well, it turns out, there's this very, very unusual 8-hour gap. 8-hour gap between the time of the actual murders, right, and the time that the police were notified about the murders. Right now, 8 hours. You say to yourself, how do you stay in a house without calling law enforcement? You got phones, you got internet, you got a fucking window to scream out of. Are you so shocked, so in such shock that now again 4 people were killed in the house and 2 of them remained in the house. I believe 2 of them did. I know 1 did. Remained in the house the whole time, right? 8 hours, right? And now there's a new piece of evidence that says that there was a third person that used one of the girls one of the girl in the house that didn't get killed and sat in her room for 8 hours with 4 dead bodies in the house. It turns out that one of the a friend of the dude that got stabbed to death used her phone to call in the murders. It's a massive loose end, if you ask me. And it does raise questions because you don't look in this case, you don't have a confession. You don't really have any eyewitnesses that saw what happened. You don't have any connection. Bryan Kohberger, there's no real solid connection to the victims that he murdered, other than the fact that they went to the same school that he went to. That's hardly a connection. Right? He wasn't dating any of them. There's no material evidence to put. You know what I'm saying? So we in effect have, in my view, 3 new suspects. Now you hate to call one of the almost victims a suspect, or 2 of them almost suspect, but you have to. Right? It's the case of the mother whose baby goes missing, and she's crying to the police, "Oh, help, please help me find my baby. I don't know what happened. Somebody snatched my baby." And the police immediately suspect the woman of throwing the baby into the river, because that's usually what happens. Right? There's an MO there. Is this the same case? I don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna dive into this other loose end of the Bryan Kohberger murder. Again, there's no confession here. There's no, there is evidence of blood and such, but we haven't really seen all that. It hasn't been aired out. I'm concerned with the 3. I don't know. I put myself in the position. Right, I'm in the position. Right, if I'm in college and I'm in a dorm, and some psychopath who I see with my own eyes running out the door just killed 4 of my roommates. Am I going to sit paralyzed in my room for 8 fucking hours without saying anything? I don't think so. I'm just speaking from my own experience. Would I sit in a room with dead people for 8 hours? I'd at least walk out. I'd run. It just doesn't make sense. So there's a loose end there, and we'll look at some other stuff too. Yeah. So what else we got here? We're talking about today. Some murders. Another synthetic fentanyl bust in Mexico. We'll look at. And the earth-shaking, groundbreaking Seymour Hersh interview that points directly at the Biden administration for blowing up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline under the Baltic Sea, the pipeline that was owned by the Russians and the Germans that the Americans decided that they had the rights and privileges to blow it up and starve the German people out of very, very inexpensive gas. All the evidence points to the U.S. It pointed to the U.S. before Seymour Hersh said anything, but now it's that story is actually amping up. You have Russia now preparing to go to the UN and have a special UN Security Council meeting to air out what exactly Seymour Hersh is saying about these dirty Americans who blew up the pipeline and blame the dirty Russians. It's war. You know, if you want to stop a perpetual war, you stop. Stop it in your own country, right? So this is my thumbnail today. Lots of new suspects in the. It's you remember the infamous picture? If you look up into the right hand corner over here, you see the 4 people in the middle are dead, but the 2 girls on the outside, and the dude that got killed, his buddy, quote buddy, who called in the call 8 hours after the fact, are, in my view, in this reporter's view, all suspect. I'm sorry. You can hate on me all you want, but that's the evidence. I'm just asking the simple question. I'm not saying that they did it. I'm just asking the question: why does someone wait 8 effing hours to call the police? Are you in such a state of shock? I'm having a hard time with that one, and the dude. Why are we finding out just today that some buddy of the kid that got killed called it in to the cops and not the people that were there? So that's all I'm saying. Right? You don't have to don't get into a liberal frenzy. Anybody watching this, not the crowd, not our crowd. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Weevil Girl in the house. TJ, Chris Milk, Andy Garcia, Mikhail Sly. What's up, man? William R. Hall, Josephine. What's up, Josephine? How are you? William Smith, Casafilly Camden, down there in a little south of me in Pennsylvania. Catalina Woody. What's up, man? Jonte Thackeray. What's up, everybody? Andy Garcia, how are you, man? How's everybody doing, man? I'm doing good. I'm fine. I'm pretty good. I'm enjoying the. We're having a nice warm spell. I know someone was saying in the chat that I think it was Chris saying that not Philly, but Buffalo got whacked with the chemical plum, a plum chemical from Idaho. Some sort of explosion over there or whatever it was. I don't know, man. It went the other way, right? I'm in between you and Ohio, right? I'm right in between Buffalo. Anyway, where I am is in between Buffalo and Ohio, and it went right over our heads, man. I didn't smell a damn thing or see anything. But anyway, my name is Marcus Conti, and I feel like I'm digressing right now. Stay on focus, Conti. Stay in focus. Drink water, man. Keep it moving, man. We're going in the right direction. Or are we? Are we just getting older and we die and nobody really cares about anything we ever say? Is everything that we do in this life forgotten in a few years? Yeah, probably. Are there even the greatest of the greatest humans ever remembered, the Jesuses and the Buddhas and the Mohammeds and the Bruce Springsteens and the Michael Jacksons of the world, will also be forgotten, just like everybody else. In 100,000 years, no one will give a rat's ass about some guy sitting under a tree enlightening himself, because those principles and desires will have eviscerated, and deeper truths will have been discovered. So, moral of the story is live your goddamn life right now. And you could do that by coming every morning at 9 a.m. live right here on YouTube. You don't need notification. Just come on over to the channel and watch and listen and share in the comments. Be part of your life. Be part of your life. And now, very, very importantly, on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., Right, everybody's saying, oh, Conti, you do your show too early in the morning, 9 a.m. I'm sleeping. I'm not here. Well, now it's at 7 p.m. So hello, California, and hello, the rest of the world. Every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., we're doing a Dharma gathering. We have a open discussion that happens as well after that or during the show. And this is a time to engage in mindfulness meditation. 10-minute mindfulness meditation and the 90-day meditation challenge. That's for you to open up your mind and stop the nonstop thinking already so that you can enjoy your life, right? And it's a great way to do it. 90 sits in 90 days. That's up to you to do. And a great way to fund this program, which is becoming increasingly more important as the days go on, Zelle. If you haven't heard of this, this is really good stuff. Anybody could send anybody else money directly from a bank account. Now, I know a lot of people don't like PayPal. They don't like Patreon. They're all, everybody's taking 3% and 5% of your money. Google takes 30% in the super chat. Right? There's a direct way to fund this program through Zelle. You go to your bank account and you just put in you initiate Zelle. Most bank accounts have it. Most banks have it. You initiate Zelle. You put in your email address, and then you could send money to any other email address that's also registered with Zelle, which I am. Short Happy Life. So I'm calling out anybody who undertakes the meditation challenge. Kindly send anywhere from $1. It's not about how much; it's that you do it. $1, and if you got a lot of money, I'm calling on 1 millionaire out there, 1 billionaire. If there's 1 billionaire, how about Brian Johnson that we reported on this show? Right? He's doing all his healthy eating and such, right? Donate $1 million to this program. Here you got. You got all the information you need. Let me go to my bank account and see your input for $1 million, and I assure you, you're going to be very, very happy with your investment. I will become your bitch, so to speak. But anyway, it would be a game changer if one super rich guy could make a substantial donation to this program. Well, let's get us going again. And hey, look, man, I'll be on a plane. I'll report live from Bangkok. I'll be reporting live from Los Angeles downtown. Reporting live from downtown Manhattan. Money is required for those things. You can't really do those things unless you have the funds to do it. So again, rich people, get off your ass. Take the 90-day meditation challenge. Make a donation and come aboard already. So let's start here. The great Elon Musk. Look at this look at it. Look what Elon Musk is putting out, man. Look at this. 2 hot chicks. Let's take a note. Let's look. 2 hot chicks, and one of them, the one grabbing the other one's hair, feeding one milk. That's Elon Musk's tweet and Twitter. Fucking genius, man. This guy's a genius. Look at this, man. Look. Look, man, drink your milk, Twitter. I am the boss. Elon Musk. No shame. No shame. Straight up. And there's some other very fucking interesting. Aaron Herms. In 2020, it was the hypnotic COVID. And in 2021, it was the hypnotic needle. Everybody wanted a needle to stop the COVID. And now in 2022 it was Ukraine, and now it's flying saucers. Everything is flying and attacking us. Right? Elon Musk, genius. Also, another murder killing in a El Paso mall. 1 dead, 3 injured. Not much detail there. They still don't have the shooter. Lots of shootings in malls, man. You know, I was sitting in a mall locally yesterday or a couple of days ago, and the thought crossed my mind, like, what if there's some psychopath that comes in here shooting the place up? I don't carry a gun. I don't carry a fucking gun in the mall. All right, what am I gonna have to do? Jump behind a cushioned chair because, to dodge bullets? I mean, it's a thought. It's a thought you wouldn't have had a long time ago, like going to a movie theater, sitting peacefully in a movie theater, and some maniac decides to shoot it up. But that is the times we live in right now, And this is a good video right here. I want to talk about Mexico claims largest synthetic drug lab bust. But look at the video that's there, right? Here's a woman. The guy in orange, look down here and you see the orange jumpsuit. And a woman is addressing the murderer of her sister in the Buffalo shooting, right? So let's watch.
My name.
And chaos breaks out in the courtroom. Watch the chaos break out. Chaos alert. Chaos alert. Watch. Go.
It's Barbara Massey. I'm Catherine Massey's sister. You killed my sister.
You killed my sister.
Cat, I'm gonna tell you.
There's no humor to any of this, really. I mean, it's a fucking cold-blooded killer, and you're there and you see him and he's the killer, right? And he did it, and he doesn't deny it. But watch what happened.
Think about my sister, Cat. Cat weighed 110 pounds, 72 years old. Cat would do anything for anybody, anytime. Cat was intelligent. She was a teacher. She was my best friend. She was anything at any given time. Cat was a protector. Cat liked to be. My son called Cat triple black because she was so proud of her heritage. My nephew said Cat was a...
Shit is getting warmed up now, right? It's getting warmed up. You see the police moving into position, right? Shit's going to happen. Watch.
Saint among sinners. My sister, Catherine Massey, was a great person. Cat didn't hurt anybody.
Watch.
You're going to come to our city and decide you don't like black people. Man, you don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human.
It wasn't about black people, first of all. He was just a psycho killer, but I get the point.
We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in those neighborhoods and take people out. Don't do
I would dragging Fat Boy out of there. His pants are falling down. Hey, he'll pick Fat Boy's pants up. That's true. I've never been in a courtroom when that ever happened.
Tell us
but
about yourself.
no, you ain't getting shit about myself. So Mexico, I love watching fucking wacky videos. Mexico claims largest synthetic drug lab bust to date. Largest synthetic drug lab bust to date. Mexican soldiers seized more than 500,000 fentanyl pills in a raid on what the Army's announcement Wednesday called the largest synthetic drug lab found to date. Now, why do we have a synthetic pill lab down in Mexico? What is in these pills that people want so badly? And why can't we make a version of it, a version of it right here, where people can buy and not risk killing themselves? Right? People kill themselves by fentanyl overdose because it's not mixed properly. Fentanyl is highly concentrated, 30 times more concentrated than heroin, and probably 60 times more concentrated than opium. Right? And you got morons, drug dealers, that mix this shit together with, other kinds of powder. And then people get what's called a hot shot. They get too much of the fentanyl in one place and not enough in the other. And the people that get a lot of fentanyl in one place overdose. Right? That could be eliminated, completely eliminated, if you hand it over to Pfizer and fucking Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, who know how to make drugs. At least they know how to do that. They make the right concentrations. But in the age of prohibition and illegal drugs, this is what happens, right? So you've got, all the guns, all the army. They found 630,000 fentanyl pills. And it's not just fentanyl, it's also mixed with methamphetamine. So there's some sort of fentanyl, opium rush, methamphetamine rush that people are seeking out. Now, why can't we do this in a more organic way? Right? Fentanyl is fucking poison. It's fake. It's a fake, synthetic, garbage, piece of shit drug. Right? On the other hand, opium, the opiated poppy, grows naturally in the garden. So it does seem, and methamphetamine is garbage as well. But it does seem that if people are in such dire want of an opiated thing that they could use recreationally, not some jerk-off doctor telling them you need to take this for pain, but people that decide, for example, to smoke cannabis and enjoy their mind, or have a glass of wine and enjoy their experience, right? That is acceptable behavior. That is reasonable behavior, right? For reasonable adults. So it just, when I see articles like this, and people disagree, I know, but you could make a substance that satisfies this class of people that want this thing, right? And knowing the consequences. There's no shortcut to, there's no workaround to opiate withdrawal. If you dabble in opiates, you're going to suffer withdrawal at some point. If you overconsume it. But nonetheless, the war rages on. Mexican drug cartels produce the opium from procurers, chemicals shipped from China, and then press it into pills, counterfeited to look like Xanax, Percocet, and Oxycontin. Oxycontin. People often take the pills without knowing they contain fentanyl and can suffer deadly overdoses. Well, they know that there's fentanyl in there. They just don't know how much. But if you correct that using what we already have, which is the pharmaceutical industry that could make this stuff easily, and use better products like, actual extracts of the plant, maybe, right? Have you ever heard of that before? They're already doing it with cannabis. You can, they have extract and tinctures and suppositories and fucking, I don't know what else, man. So again, I think the war on drugs is a self, created thing. Look what you got. Look, it's seized. Oh, look how brave the men in uniform are. We got the fentanyl coming in from China. We got to stop the drug trade. You're not going to stop shit. You're not stopping anything. If you want to stop it, you legalize it, and then it stops. Look, nobody in their right mind is going to want to, no junkie is going to reach for, poison, right? When they can get a better product for far less, a better, safer product, far more available. They're not going to go to the corner. The junkie is not going to go to Flacco on the corner and spend $20 on 2 bags of garbage when he could go down to the dispensary for $5 and get his supply, and he's comfortable and he's safe and he's not getting shot at and beat up and robbed and thrown in jail and prosecuted and extradited and exported and bullied and right? Legalization is always the answer. Decriminalize, decriminalize, decriminalize. That's how you beat this problem. But they're happy. They're happy. You know, the judges are happy. You know, yeah, we're fighting the war on drugs, and you know what I mean. It's just a dead game now. And again, this is not a campaign to use opiates and other substances. I'm just saying that if that's what people are reaching for and or strung out on, there is a workaround for that, and it's called decriminalization. Make the pills available, sell them in the clubs, wherever these kids are, and just make them safe. You don't have to whack somebody. No one's going to get a hot shot of fentanyl from something that Pfizer, creates. Right? They may get strung out on it like they did with OxyContin, but that's a different story. So let's talk about this Seymour Hersh interview. I have nothing really to add. I think I talked about it the other day. Seymour Hersh, former Washington Post and Wall Street Journal, I believe, a New York Times reporter, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, is pretty sure, based on his inside source, that the Americans did, in fact, blow up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline in a sabotage of the natural gas flowing from Russia to Germany. On the record is Joe Biden saying that the pipeline would not be allowed to happen. You've got but now the Russians, you also got this lady, where is she? Here. Here's the top U.S. diplomat, Victoria Nuland, celebrating the explosion, remember? Hold on a second. Senator Cruz.
Senator Cruz, like you, I am, and I think the administration is very gratified to know that Nord Stream 2 is now, as you like to say, a hunk of metal at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, so there you go. So she's happy about the chunk of metal at the bottom of the sea. And look, this is, in my view, sadly, this is old news. I said it when it happened that it was unthinkable to think that the Russians blew up the pipeline. Right? It was either the prime suspects were the British Navy and the United States armed, special services. That's who did it. And Seymour Hersh is confirming it. Now, I guess the bigger picture is, what does it say to your government? About your government, who right here says, this is what the government has, United States investigative journalist Seymour Hersh, this is what the U.S. is saying about Hersh's revelation. U.S. investigative journalist Seymour Hersh wrote in a blog that an attack on the Russian-operated pipelines under the Baltic Sea was carried out last September at the direction of U.S. President Joe Biden. The White House has dismissed the report as, quote, utterly false and complete fiction. Right? So that's what your government is saying about what they are doing, acts of war in your name. Right? Don't kid yourself. That's an act of war. You blow up someone else's pipeline in their backyard. That is an act of war. The United States is engaging in criminal acts of war abroad, right above Germany and Norway and Denmark, below those two. So that is the fact. Is it somebody blew it up? Somebody blew it up. So the Russians are now moving forward. I think this report is in German, in Russian.
Поставили там этот вопрос, готовим.
I'll translate. We're gonna take the dirty Americans to the UN and have a special meeting and find out who blew up the fucking pipeline already.
Специальное заседание Совета Безопасности будем требовать.
So we know this already. We already know it, and I just want to review a little bit. So let's talk about this is Bryan Kohberger unequivocally the Idaho killer? Is he? Are we sure in our mind that Bryan Kohberger, the PhD student in Idaho, who was studying criminal, fucking criminal science to the PhD level, did he go in and kill a couple in their sleep and then kill 2 more people in their sleep on that, fateful night in February? Did he kill 4 people and then, usher away and get in the car with his father and drive away back to his home in Pennsylvania? There's no confession. There's DNA evidence. I don't know if that's valid, really. I don't know. And there's the car, the seeing the car. His car was in that area. There's also a record of his phone going dead at that time as well. There's all this circumstantial evidence that does pile up. But more circumstantial evidence than that is, why did 2 other girls in the house, this one right here, right? The 2 on the end, the 2 girls on the end, these are the 4 victims. And the 2 girls on the end were in the house, but nobody called the police for 8 hours. Nobody called the police. Unknown, and neither one of them called the police after 8 hours. A best friend came in, friend of Ethan Chapin, the kid that got killed. So it's a little convoluted. Let me just get through it, and I'll tell you what I see. The best friend of one of the murdered University of Idaho students found his pal stabbed to death in bed, then called 911, rather than one of the surviving 2 roommates in the house. So both of the surviving roommates were in the house. And a third person, we find out for the first time, made the call on one of the surviving girls' phone. Right? So the girl sat on the floor paralyzed for 8 hours. I don't know. I don't know about that. So News Nation reported Wednesday that Ethan Chapin was found dead in bed with his girlfriend, Kern by a longtime buddy. A longtime buddy who went as far to check his pulse before calling 911, according to their sources. So there's 3 other people there. Right? Yeah, Kohberger, sure. But I don't know. I mean, if you see somebody get hit by a bus, do you call somebody and you tell the authorities, you blow the whistle on what you're seeing? Right? Common sense. But none of these 2 girls did that. And a third one, allegedly, took his time to check the pulse of his buddy. Well, I mean, that's common sense. If you walk into a room and you see a couple of people leaking blood and not moving, you might want to, see if they're breathing. You put your hand by their throat. You can hold your hand to the chest and see if you feel a heartbeat, or take a pulse. That's not that unusual. So anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of time there. It had been previously reported the phone of Dylan Mortison, 21, who survived the attack alongside Brittany Funk. Right? So Dylan Mortison, female, 21, and Brittany Funk was right. So Dylan Morton's phone was used to call the police almost 8 hours after the slaying happened in the early hours of the morning. So it's the murder happens at 4 a.m. allegedly, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, noon. The police don't know about 4 dead bodies in a house. right? With three, with two, sorority chicks with big mouths holding that kind of shit in. Are they suspect? Is that suspicious activity? I think it is. I think it's very suspicious, right? It's the two people. These are the two that were in sleeping together, boyfriend, girlfriend. All right. Now, if you want to talk about motive, right? With Bryan Kohberger, he's just some psychopath studying criminology, and he's a prime candidate to be a suspect. Why is he driving his car around the fucking streets in the middle of the night? Who knows, man? A lot of people do that. A lot of people drive their cars around in the middle of the fucking night, right? Especially on a Friday or Saturday evening, right? But how many people sit in a house with 4 dead people for 8 hours? I don't know many. Right? So who's more of a suspect? If you want to find DNA, you're going to find plenty of the roommate's DNA all over the place. You'll find DNA everywhere. All right? You found Bryan Kohberger. I don't know. I suspect the connection there. Well, I'm not going to talk about his connection because it's becoming kind of secondary to what we're finding out here. Mortison, that's her right there. She described Kohberger, 5'10", tall male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past her as she stood in a frozen shock phase. Really? He walked past her? He didn't fucking walk past her. She was looking out the window. She was looking out the window, she said. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. Morton locked herself in her room after seeing the male. Now, a guy who just killed 4 people sees an eyewitness eye him, and the killer doesn't go after her? Why did Kohberger make contact with you? Did he make eye contact? Did this person that you say you saw in the house make eye contact with you and just walk right by you and didn't try to kill you? Right? And walked out the house, and then you sat in your house frozen for 8 hours? I don't know. It was another 8 hours before the alarm was raised to the cops, with sources saying Mortison went into shock after the encounter. She was scared. She was scared to death, and rightfully so, says some attorney. Kohberger was arrested for the crime. There they are. There's the whole team. And you got Mortison and Funk, the 2 chicks on the end, right? Was it a story of lesbian love? How dare you see? This one's got her hand on the back of the girl who's sleeping with the guy. Maybe it was some lesbian love. I don't know. Maybe she loved her, and she loved her up there, right? Maybe there was some sort of love triangle. There's at least motive here. Whereas Kohberger is just some psycho. I don't know. So anyway, I can't read the chat right now. I'm reading. Josephine says Dylan was used to place being in a wide open party house. So she sees a guy leaving with a mask on, which is kind of weird. One of my sisters used to sleep till 11 a.m. until we finally went to out her door. She was looking out her door in her bedroom. Yeah, wherever she was looking, all right? Whoever this girl was looking, this is the girl whose phone was used to call the police 8 hours later. And she says, her testimony is that she saw Kohberger, so somebody who looked like Kohberger, walk right past her, and she went back into her room and cried and stayed down. So there you go. More evidence. Is it evidence or is it just crazy? I don't know. Mortison and the other surviving roommate, Funk, delay in notifying authorities puzzled investigators. An Iowa law enforcement source told the Post. saying police weren't sure if it was an issue of intoxication or fear. Neither were ever considered to be suspects in the case. Well, I don't know. So here's an article from January 7. Cops puzzled by the 8-hour window before Idaho murder victims' roommates called 911. See, even as soon as January, we thought it was the roommates who called, one of the roommates, but one of the roommates did not call. New evidence suggests that a third party, a friend. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is the friend doing there? When did he show up? Let's look. Cops are still puzzled. So that's all I wanted to say about that. There's some other startling imagery, right? So here's Funk on the far right and Mortison on the far left. And here's Mortison posing with one of the victims, this girl up here, one of the ones that got whacked. All right, so they were good friends. Maybe were they lesbian lovers? I love you. I love you. How dare you sleep with that man? That man is garbage. Love me. Right. Motive. All right, more so than some wacko driving around in the street. All right. Kohberger, right, this crime reeks of somebody who knew the inside of the apartment, by the way. The person that did the killing knew the lay of the land. Right? It's not somebody that just barged in and started to ransack the place looking for people to kill. He knew, or whoever knew, exactly where the people were sleeping. So the person knew the lay of the land. How did Kohberger know the lay of the land? Well, there are ways that he could have known. I had speculated that he may have, if Kohberger is the prime suspect, he may have been to a party at that apartment complex where these students were renting prior to them being there, right? You go to a house sometimes, you go to a house party, and because Kohberger's older than them, he's 28. So he was on campus for long before these kids were there. He could have been at a party at that house and knew the house, right? As a motive, he knows that when he goes inside the house, I've been in this house. I know where everything is. But no evidence of that link has been found. And I think that law enforcement would have found that link earlier. They would have said, oh, yeah, he was at a party back in 2016 when his friend lived in that apartment, something like that. But there's no link there either. So, but there it is, man. Lots of lesbian love. Is it lesbian love? I don't know. China, I don't want to talk about that. So let's talk about the markets. The markets are open. Oh my God, everything is red. What time is it? Ding. Oh, ow. Ouch. 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 Ow. Ow. My stocks are hurting. NASDAQ is down 151 this morning, and Dow Jones Industrial Average down 313. S&P 500 down 46. Let's look at the big board. What's going on? What's driving it down? Stocks fall. Bitcoin rallies. Bitcoin rally? Bitcoin rally? What's Bitcoin? Bitcoin rally. Not really. Oh, yeah, it is. Bitcoin is rallying. Bitcoin is up 1,600 right now. Moving up. I had said at 18,000 it was probably a buy. Now it's 24,000. Good luck chasing it. All red this morning. Apple down $1.25. Amazon down 2.25. Google down $1. I wanted to look at the military industrial complex stocks because this article, China sanctions Lockheed Martin Raytheon for selling arms to Taiwan. So that should adversely, yeah, so there you go. So adversely affect Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. So let's look at Lockheed Martin down $8 a share on that news and dropping like a rock. You see how it's dropping? It's going to continue to drop. So dump your Lockheed Martin. These are war profiteers. These are people that make weaponry. Right? We blame others. They're arms traffickers. Right? They're legal arms traffickers. Is Lockheed Martin and such. I want to end on this story, and then I'll let you go. Chris Hedges, a very, very smart guy, right up there with Noam Chomsky, the younger version of Noam Chomsky, has been out there a long time blowing the whistle on, government propaganda. And he now says that all of these organizations like love the planet, feminism, socialism, gay pride, black power, pro-choice, peace, no ICE. These are all forms of government, confusion, gaslighting. Pay attention to that and nothing else. Listen to what Chris Hedges is saying, and I'll let you go. Woke culture, devoid of class consciousness and a commitment to stand with the oppressed, is another tool in the arsenal of the imperial state. He's calling woke. Remember now these guys, Chris Hedges was as far left as you could imagine, not even 10 years ago. And now he's telling you that the far left is now nothing of the sort. They're not out for you. They're out for themselves. Well, they're violently and viscerally confused. Listen to what Chris Hedges says about the Trey Nichols killing. The brutal murder of Trey Nichols by 5 black Michigan police officers should be enough to implode the fantasy that identity politics and diversity will solve the social, economic, and political decay that besets the United States. Did you hear what the man just said? Right? Not only are the former officers black, but the city's police department is headed by a black woman. None of this helps Nichols, another victim of a modern-day police lynching. So he's saying that you could scream Black Lives Matter from the rooftops all you effing want. All right? And 5 cops kill a unarmed black man in Memphis, murdered by police. Where is your diversity? Where is your inclusion and such, making all of these blacks prominent law enforcement agents? Where is it working is the point. So it's good to see Chris Hedges still out there. The militarists, corporatists, oligarchs, politicians, academics, media conglomerate champions, identity politics, and diversity, because it does nothing to address the systemic injustice or the scourge of permanent war that plague the United States. It's an advertising gimmick, he says, a brand used to mask mounting social inequality and imperial folly. Bravo, bravo. That's precisely what it is, man. So to the liberal left, that stand for all of these things, and get your head out your ass. Get your head out your ass, Antifa. And so Mark Conte reporting. Thank you all for joining me. See you tomorrow. Happy Thursday to you. Enjoy the weather. I think the rain is coming. There we go. I think the rain is coming. Here comes the rain again. It's coming down like a hurricane. Enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy your life. It's short. It is a short, happy life. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Boom, boom, boom.